Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today. Actually, let me do something real fast. Move that guy over. Yep, there we go. So, welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today. Thank you guys once again for tuning in as always. Today should be pretty exciting, I would say, considering the news with Tesla, IGC moving higher. Kind of feel like it's going to be a pretty good day on our hands. What's going on, Coco Grace? Everybody, good morning. I'll wait a few minutes here for a couple more people to arrive. So again, for me today, main plays will be IGC and Tesla, and then I'm going to keep Netflix and AMRN on my watch list. But for that, thank you very much about the hat. But again, we'll see how it all pans out. So we will be covering Netflix, IGC, and Tesla. We're going to focus mainly on IGC and Tesla, and then we'll briefly touch on Netflix and AMRN today. All right. All right, we're going to move over to the next screen here. All right, watch list at the top, and the stocks gapping up and down, so you guys can take a second to write these down, take a screenshot of them, do what you have to do here. William, it's hard to say if IGC is going to continue up. I do believe someone in our private group did just mention that the DEA moved CBDs off a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 5. So that is good news for that cannabis industry, specifically with the companies that are specifically for the companies that are specifically involved or the businesses involved, using CBD, maybe infused drinks and oils and things like that. So I could see it being a catalyst for them, but I wasn't sure if that news broke today or when the news actually broke for that particular. So I don't know if it's new news or what. He just told me that, so I'd have to take a look at that. All right. So you guys write these down. I will come back to the screen. Again, if you missed it, I'll come back right at the end for you guys. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the first one I'm going to talk about here is Tesla. Tesla will be the main stock on my watch list here today. Actually, let me do, I'll just put it like that. So as you can see, Tesla obviously got crushed last night after the news broke that Elon Musk was getting sued by the SEC for fraud. So if you're not aware and you use Thinkorswim, make sure to check out the live news, or you could just go to Google and type in Tesla and go over to the news drop-down menu or channel on Google. And the first things you're going to see is the fact that Elon Musk is getting sued by the SEC for fraud, manipulation of stock price, and basically pumping his stock price and hurting short sell investors. There's talks that he may or may not be removed from the board, may or may not be removed as the CEO and the head role in the company. He may be dropped down just to a visionary role. So there's still talks around that. I don't think anything's set in stone yet on the actual role that he will play in Tesla. So that's still to be announced, I believe. So that's more news. I believe it's more pending news that could negatively affect the stock. So before we get into the technical analysis side of this, you have to understand, and before we even do that, for those of you that were watching the stream yesterday, did I not specifically say yesterday that Tesla is a bad investment? I specifically said it yesterday, Tesla's a bad investment, noting the fact that Elon Musk is, all over the place, can't really make up his mind. He runs tweets all the time. They're constantly in the news. They're not profitable. They have no competitive edge over the rest of the market anymore with their electric cars. I said it's a bad investment until they can prove themselves, so I wouldn't be investing. But as a trader, it's an amazing stock to trade, and I specifically said that yesterday. Now, I'm not going to, pride myself knowing that this would happen. I had no clue that, the SEC was going to charge him with fraud or that the news was going to break yesterday. It just so coincides that I said that yesterday, but I've been saying it for a long time. But it just coincides that I was specifically mentioning that yesterday and then this happened, right? So this just goes to show when you keep up on a stock, you keep up on the news and you know the companies that you're watching and the companies that you're trading, it gives you a competitive edge as a trader and as an investor. So that's why it's extremely important to kind of keep your nose in the market and in the news and know what's going on so that you don't get caught off guard with this. We knew that the SEC was investigating Elon Musk. So in my opinion, it would have been a horrible idea to invest into the company until they had completed that investigation and they brought forth any charges that could have come. So yeah, Tesla, not a good investment. There's nothing about it that's sound yet. It's still speculative, right? So until it's sound and no longer speculative, at that point, it will always be a risky investment. Good for traders, bad for investors, okay? Yeah, so regardless, there is the thought, right? I have thought to myself, though this is negative news for Tesla, there could be some investors that see this as a good thing. Removing Elon Musk, that will end, might end the tweets, removing him and then taking out of the head role, bring on somebody else. This could actually, be a good thing. Some people might see it as a good thing. Others might see it as a bad thing, where Elon Musk is the face of Tesla. He is the visionary role. He's the one that has, the vision for the company. So bringing in somebody new to take on that position, they may not have that same oversight and vision that Elon has had for the company, which thus far has made it as big as what it is today. So I definitely see both sides of it being a good thing and being a bad thing. So I do believe there's a lot of mixed emotions going on with Tesla right now. There's a lot of people that could say this 265 is a good buy point. And I myself, I'm actually considering watching it. I am watching it both ways, short and long. But I'm actually kind of more biased to a bounce today. I think that this big 50-point drop overnight could actually lead to a good long play if it starts reversing. So you got to think there's a lot of people that have been shorting the stock, right? And if you woke up today and you just noticed the stock down $50 a share from the high pre-market yesterday, there could be a lot of people that are going to be willing to pick up these shares for a bounce, and short sellers are going to be covering this up, okay? So I definitely see this as a possible long play, but do keep in mind with how bad the news is, we might see some more downside continuation. So let's look at this. We're going to look at the 180-day chart here. So the 180-day chart will show that, hold on 1 second, let me drop the news channel. So you remember back when the 420 news came and he was smoking weed or whatnot, it dropped down and then it got quickly bought back up that day. So granted, this news is much worse than that 420 news, but you can see what happened the last time it dropped. It got bought back up. But you also got to think, right? Look at the drop that preceded before that. We were going all the way from 320 all the way down to a low of basically 250, right? So that was already a big drop. So to see that the squeeze thereafter, not very surprised, okay? This right here is a far more aggressive drop. Okay, and the news is also worse. So I do believe we might see what I think this is a good a more of a what am I trying to say? I think this is most likely what we'll probably see. I do think that there might be some more continuation to the downside to at least test a little bit lower, right? So far, it's holding a good kind of pre-market consolidation. But if that consolidation breaks, I think it's most likely going to go down to test this previous drop point, okay? I will note this as well, okay? If we look at just 20-day, would a 20-day do it? Yeah, so this is something to note too. If you look at a 20-day chart, Tesla had bounced around this 275 price. So if you draw a straight line across on 275, if Tesla starts popping up today, you could argue that 275 might be a good rejection point to enter in short if it does squeeze up. If it breaks 275, then I would say there's a strong chance we could see it even run all the way up to 285, okay? So looking at, back to like a 5-minute chart here, so far what we're seeing is a big drop, a bounce, and it's starting to bounce again. So it's possible this might, actually go back up this way. But if this starts to roll over and it breaks the 265, we're definitely going to expect a nice sell-off, probably down closer to the 250s and maybe even lower. Just depends on how big the selling pressure is. There's a lot of people watching Tesla right now. It's the most talked about stock probably in the news from yesterday to today. So there's going to be a lot of people trading this, right? So definitely be a little bit cautious. It can move very fast, as we all know. So do have to size accordingly, and do make sure that you don't, if you're losing, don't hold on to it. It could squeeze very hard if it goes up, and it could drop very fast if it goes down, okay? Citigroup did lower the price target to 225. Why am I not surprised? I mean, we've been saying this for a while, okay? Just imagine what's going to happen to their stock if they go into the next earnings report and they're still down and they have more. I mean, it's just going to tank, okay? Regardless. So Tesla definitely on a strong watch. I would watch it. If it trickles back down to this 265 and it snaps with authority, it's probably going to have a massive sell-off very fast. But I'm still being optimistic on a possible bounce today. If this thing does really drop, at some point there will be a nice reversal trade on it. So I'm going to keep it on watch for reversals, a bounce, and a possible short today. Okay. So do mark off the 265 as the pre-market support. Do mark off the 275 as the pre-market resistance. And then you can mark off like 285 because that's just another kind of like long-term, I don't want to say long-term, but some resistance point right around 285, which is about right there. Okay. All right, on to the next one here, which is IGC. So IGC, again, we were watching it on yesterday for a long, I believe. And then you can see it popped up today to a high of $5.90. It's starting to sell off a little bit, but so far it is holding. Okay, so far it is holding this pre-market support level right at about 520. The pre-market support is this pop, and that pop, right? Going straight across, that's kind of the pre-market support level. So if IGC can stay up and above this 520s level, I do see it as a long play. Whether the long's good or not, it's just arguable that if it can stay, up and over this 520, it's showing that it doesn't want to drop and it wants to hold above the pre-market support, right? That's showing that buyers are trying to keep this price up. So if it drops down to this 520, consolidates and start curling, I would watch it for a long, right? Because what we might see is a lot of people try and hop in short at the bell, push it below 520. It might kind of do this, come back around, and then it will go for a red to green move, short squeeze. Okay, that's very possible. But do note, right? Do note that from yesterday's opening price to today, the stock is currently up 78%. So a lot of people have made some money overnight on this, which they might be looking to sell in the morning, do a profit take. So watch this thing for a profit take. I would not try and jump in on the first 1 minute candle or maybe even the two. I would give it a few minutes to consolidate, see what it really wants to do before you get in on this. If you look at the yearly chart, it has no, or let me do it this way. If you look at the yearly chart, it doesn't have any overhead resistance, okay? There is no overhead resistance on this. So this thing could shoot up to 6, it could shoot up to 657 if it really gains some legs. But as we can see, the price just broke out. We are, a little overextended. You can already see here that we are getting a seller's candle from 590. So again, be a little cautious on this today and watch it for some consolidation before judging and making a decision to jump in, okay? If it were to go the other way and go down, I think we could definitely see it hit. If it really gained some legs and got crushed, I think we could see it. If it really, really got hammered, you could see it as low as 440. I'd be very surprised to see that. I think the more respectable level would probably be to see it down closer to 480 or even just a little bit below that around 470 if it really got hit pretty hard in the morning, okay? On to the next one is we'll talk about AMRN. Okay, so AMRN isn't looking like it was earlier this morning. It was still kind of trending up, and I was basically going to say that with it trending up, we could see this, and still possible, right? It's still trending up a little bit, so it's very possible, and you can see, right? Look at this, pop up. It could do something like that, right? If it doesn't do that and it rolls over, we're probably going to see it do this. So I think this is a very determining day for the stock. as far as AMRA goes. I think today is going to be a very determining, a very determinant day, whether it goes higher or goes lower and takes a big fall, right? So I would say right at the open, there's going to be some choppy trading, and it's either dropping or going up. And you guys are probably like, well, no, obviously it's either going up or down. But I would say it has to hold above. It's really got to hold above 1390s, which is the aftermarket support. Got to hold above 1390s, and then we might see it continue higher. Okay. On to the next one is Netflix. Okay, yeah. So here's Netflix, right? So as you can see, Netflix kind of popped up here, had some resistance here. So it's kind of consolidating sideways right now. It has this tight range from 383 to 378. So right now it's kind of channeling. This particular pattern and consolidation is kind of what we see before a sell-off, okay? Now I'm not guaranteeing it's going to sell off, but if you look at it, we have a move up. The next day we tried to go higher, we failed, we consolidated, we came back down. Today's usually a day where we'll see it pop up, try and go higher again, it fails, and then it goes like that, okay? So I'm going to be short bias on Netflix today. Also, if you look at the market is gapping down. If you look, there is news coming out that there was a terrorist attack in, where was it? Was it the Netherlands? Yeah, if you look, there was news from yesterday, late day, that there was a terrorist attack in the Netherlands, and that the Prime Minister of, was it Prime Minister? So I can't remember which Prime Minister. Some Prime Minister saying that Iran has an atomic warehouse in Tehran. So there's some kind of like some global news kind of floating around today. The markets are gapping down. So any big tech stock I would be very careful of with this gap down. Here's a good example, right? Look at the market here, S&P. You can see it popped up midday, it sold off. Look at Facebook. Right? Facebook ran up, sold off same time as the market. So these big tech stocks tend to follow the market flow very well. So in terms of Netflix is going to be one where I watch. And if the market starts going down, I'll probably end up taking Netflix short today as well. All right. So to give you guys some insight here, we're going to look at a 5-day chart. The next big support on Netflix is around 374 to 373, right? We have this line. So going straight across. 374 is 373 is kind of the big support line. The intraday support is at 376. So if it breaks 376, I think we could see a sharp downward move down towards 372 to 373, right in that area. Okay, that's kind of what I foresee happening possibly there. So, yep, Musk is sued by the SEC. Yeah, Jake, I really do like Netflix. I'm pretty good at trading Netflix. I like the way it moves. It moves big values. So I'm one that follows Netflix very well. And that's the thing. When you follow a stock so much, you just get really good at knowing, kind of how it works. And that's what I always recommend to people too in trading is find a few stocks you like, right? You don't have to trade something different every day. Find something you like and then just follow it, right? And you'll just naturally get good at figuring out how it moves, right? And then you can become a pretty consistent trader on that stock, okay? I don't really follow DGAS. I don't follow JDST. I don't follow JNUG very often. In order to properly trade those, you need to follow the futures. So like DGAS and JNUG, you need to follow their futures trading to understand how they are going to move. And that's not something I particularly do. I could, but I just don't. So I don't really talk much about that. But you could follow Ricky Gutierrez on YouTube. He naturally follows DGAS and JDST and JNUG, and he's more of an ETF trader. So if you wanted to pick up some more information, he'd probably be the guy to see about that specifically. So you could definitely tune into his channel. He'll probably have more insight than I could give you. Not that I couldn't. It's just not my area where I focus on. He does those kind of trades. That's where I'd recommend you could pop into to learn more about that. Trump to stock. I mean, that's arguable that I pump stocks. I mean, theoretically, if you have a big following and you tell people to watch these stocks, there is the likelihood that those stocks will be more active today. That's a fact. So then you could, and also argue that CNBC, MarketWatch, and any other news-related channel pump stocks because they have a big following. So whenever they push news out about a stock, people will gravitate to that stock. So anybody that creates news and creates followers to look at things are theoretically all stock pumpers. Theoretically. I do not live trade on YouTube. I do all the live trading in our private group, which will be the first link in the description if you want to check that out. Sure. All right. Well, Trump to stock. If that's how you feel, then I guess this is probably not the right area for you to be in. I guess that would be my recommendation to you to tune off because I can't help you here. You're too knowledgeable of a trader, and you're far better than me. So I would say this isn't the area for you. So yeah, to answer your guys' questions about the YouTube video yesterday about Robinhood, I will be doing a follow-up video on that, and I will be doing more videos to clear up the pattern day trading rule for a lot of you guys. I will be doing more videos on that particular topic too. My question to Trump D is why not? Give me a reason not to. It's okay. It really is. It's completely fine. So if you guys want the answer as to why I actually live stream, because for one, I love trading. Two, it's very fun. And that's basically just it, right? You guys like it. I like it. If you want to know another thing, yeah, it's no gimmick. There is no lie that I do also get paid through YouTube. So by doing this, I can also create another stream of income. There's no lie about it. All right. So that's another thing to think about. Van Nunley, you can go to, it's the first link in the description of the video. So if you scroll down and then you look in the description box, right below our YouTube name, it will be the first link in that description. I don't even know if I can. I never tried to. Oh, I guess I can. Yeah, I guess we will do that. Remove. Sweet. Maybe. I don't have any videos particularly about shorting, but in the future I will be making some more videos and things like that. Why do I use a momentum indicator? Because if you use a momentum indicator, it helps you momentum scanner, it helps you identify where stocks are actually moving. If you're a day trader and you want to make money, you have to figure out what's actually moving. You can't really trade stocks that are just going sideways, so you have to figure out what's moving in order to make some money. No problem, guys. Absolutely. I don't use Webull. I did create an account, but I haven't funded it. I'm honestly so busy. It's hard for me to keep on top of all the things I want to do, but I did want to create a Webull account and then kind of use it to trade and see what I do like about it so I could start giving reviews on it, but I just really haven't had the time to take the necessary steps to do that. No, Discord's not where I trade live. In our private group, we use a third-party streaming company to trade live. So if you were to join into our premium chat room and premium day trading course, it's all bundled as one. Something you will see in a lot of other groups is you'll have a course you can enter, and then you have to pay separately for the chat room. We just bundle it all in one, so you get a full course, chat room, live trading room, and watch list and things like that. So it's all one. But again, that's the first link in the description. Other than that, guys, I'm gonna head off now. So again, you guys know my watch list. All right, so you guys have the watch list. Do with it what you please today. Hopefully we have a green day. I will have a recording. Again, I've been super choppy these last couple days. Whether the market hasn't been giving too much opportunity, there has been opportunity. I just haven't been capitalizing on it as well. So still kind of in a lull myself, making a few mistakes. Had a little bit of over trading, had a little bit of some late entries. So again, just not spot on with the trading lately. So again, still working and fighting through this like negative trading that I'm having. So we'll hopefully wrap that up today. So I'll see you guys all, not tomorrow, but on Monday morning for another live stream. All right, guys, take care.